Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm going to speak in English from now on, so Peter and Georgina can hear my voice as well. Welcome everyone. We are very happy to have you here. I've been blessed to know Peter and Georgina and to being able to have great conversations, monthly conversation also, almost almost monthly conversations, and we decide to let people in inside our conversations to get to know us a little bit more. And I've been connecting to Georgina for almost 6 7 years now, and I met Peter last year in a TCS retreat, which was a bless to me as well. So I have the honor to have both of them here with me, and I have the honor to have both with me in Brazil in August. And this conversation is also part of this intention of bringing them to Brazil in August. So for people to get to know them a little bit more and maybe to decide to be with us, we create this space for us to connect into the here and now, um, and to get in contact with them, something that is very precious to me and to them as well. So, Georgina and Peter, welcome to Brazil. And I'm going to put both of you into the spotlight. So, oops, sorry. So you can maybe say hi to everyone and introduce yourselves a little bit. Welcome.
Bom dia.
Yeah, bon dia.
Bom dia.
Thank you, Carol. And thanks to everyone for joining us here today. We hope you enjoy the experience of this session. Peter, shall we start by, perhaps say a bit about yourself, who you are, and what's your work and what's important to you?
Thank you. Well, I probably only look like a young man, 25, 30 years old, maybe not. I'm actually nearly 75 now, and I've been doing this work really since I was in my mid-20s, so it's 50 years. I thought about what I'd like to share about and it's a top level share because we haven't got very long, but I want to talk about leadership very briefly, inner development in service of outer change and transformation, and also about the need to have ways forward for people to really work on ourselves, work on our to discover what our work is in the first place, our inner work, and to find places where we can do that. I was very lucky to find the places myself when I was a young man. I didn't find those places because I was simply curious. I found them because I was hurting. I came into my adult years with lots of questions, and I needed to find some answers. And I was fortunate that the time that I was looking was a time when the human potential movement was really expanding. So there was lots and lots of workshops, people interested in personal growth and development, lots of different types of approach to it, different therapy approaches, different counseling approaches. There were, of course, consciousness raising groups, women's groups, men's groups, gay liberation groups as they were then, all sorts of work people were doing on themselves. And I was fortunate to be invited to a workshop on leadership, which was being run by an American consultant who turned out probably to be one of the most important people I've ever come across in my life, a man called Charlie Kreitner. sadly long since passed. But I was a young man in that workshop, and I hadn't really got to grips with what leadership really meant to me at that stage of my life. I thought of other people as leaders, particularly people in senior roles. Now I see leadership very differently. I've worked with thousands of people in senior roles, leadership roles all over the world. I've met very few leaders. Most of them, I would say, are managers being called leaders. I would say that leadership is one of the reasons why things work so amazingly well in the world, and also the complete contrast why so many problems we have in the world are coming from failed leadership, corrupt leadership, from people who've not ever done the work that we're talking about here on themselves. So what we get is their shadow. And we are badly in need, are we not, at this state of the world, to really find ways forward which are healthy, wholesome, ethical, inspiring. And one of the things I got from attending that workshop when I was a young man was that leadership is something to do with me, not simply something other people do. Mm. And I began to own my leadership, and I made a commitment and a promise to him and to everybody at that workshop that I would support leadership, good leaders, for the rest of my life. And I would also challenge poor leadership for the rest of my life. And it's really been a compass, a North Star of my entire life. I see our work as leadership. You could argue it's about supporting leaders and supporting leadership, and it is, but it's actually leadership work in its own right, because we are influencing leaders to be better leaders, and that is a leadership act, in my view. I think it all starts with inner development, working on ourselves. Our focus, I believe, is so on the outer dimensions of life. Of course, we have to do that. But for many of us, we barely look at our inner worlds and how our inner worlds impact how we show up, how we lead, how our very being in the world. And I think many of our efforts at change, transformational change, break down due to the fact we haven't done enough work on ourselves. So my life's work has really been to bring inner development work into the corporate leadership space through individual coaching, through leadership development programs, through working with senior teams. And I guess in a sense, I brought therapy in disguise into the corporate space. I don't say that to the people I work. They would be frightened off by it, of course. But that's what it is. It's encouraging people to really reflect, look inwards, see themselves clearer, understand themselves better, develop higher order relational skills, particularly relevant to group and teams, and to understand how we are seen by others, which is something that still, despite the fact we've talked about feedback cultures for many years, I believe most people still only have a very small understanding of how we are seen by other people. I think we need to have developmental pathways to help people do that work. And I think they're short in supply because we're still focused very largely on what is often called horizontal learning, where it's about models, frameworks, um, expertise. I don't think we are doing enough of the inner focused work, and I think that's the balance that we need to try to change. I've said enough for the time being. Looking forward to hearing from you later on as we go through the session. Over to you, Georgina.
Oh, Peter, no matter how many times I hear stories of yours, I'm always struck by the depth of your experience and your courage and commitment, and the spark of light that you bring, the inspiration that you bring to many others and to me. And so it's a joy being here with you. I haven't heard you tell the story quite that way, because each time it's different. What struck me is we share something. Of course, lots of things are different, but we share something in. I started out my life a different course to yours. I had an entrepreneurial background. Started my first business at 16 years old, and I've been running businesses ever since. But my early businesses struggled. I had great ideas, and I actually managed to create some good deals with other big businesses. My company had a partnership with Microsoft, a partnership with Apple Computers when I was just 24 years old. So I had some courage, but I lacked leadership and the capacity to bring people with me, to create the culture I wanted in the organization. And I thought that was because I didn't understand what leadership was. A friend talked to me about leadership. I read books on vision, strategy, goals, business process models, systems, and didn't encounter stuff about myself until I was invited by Apple and Microsoft, my company and their two companies together, to do a presentation in front of 400 people in Apple and Microsoft. And I completely lost my voice. I turned purple. I thought, nothing could come out. It was the most horrific moment. I just lost all my confidence. I prayed for the session to be over, and these other two execs were doing a wonderful job. And afterwards, I said, I'm never going to do public speaking again. I'm always going to be behind the scenes. And a friend then said to me, but you've got so much to offer. You've just got a lot to learn, and it's time for you to learn. Here's a development program. And this was in the 1980s. And she pointed me to a Gestalt program. And this was the first program where I became aware of myself and what I was bringing to relationships and to situations, and all the barriers I put up to authenticity, to feedback, to giving voice to what I was really experiencing, and how others were impacting me, how I was impacting others. It was a long journey. It was a 4-year deep dive personal development journey, and it changed the course of my life. After that, I decided to sell the company I had and get into working with leaders and into coaching, because I had experienced myself such transformational potential, and I want others to experience that. We have the opportunity in this lifetime to make a difference and to live into our potential. But the gateway to that is the inner development that you've talked about. And that's what I'm excited to share here with colleagues and in Sao Paulo in August with you.
Lovely.
Yeah. Maybe Peter, it'd be helpful to talk a bit more about what do we mean by inner development? What are some of the main features or principles behind this work?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure everyone will have all sorts of experience and have read widely, have trained in different methodologies. But you know, there was an amazing short book written many years ago, which defined inner development in terms of three different things. One are self-knowledge, what we know about ourselves. And of course, people have been asking that question since human beings have been on the planet. Socrates said, know thyself. So the first element is what we know about ourselves. The second is really about what we know about others. To what extent do we really understand what the experience is of other people? And we might know more about one than the other. We may know more about what our inner experience is, but not necessarily have the same level of knowledge about what other people's experience of life is, or vice versa. And the third, I've touched on it earlier, about the extent to which we know how other people perceive us. And I think that a lot of that is invisible to us. We don't know enough. And it's one of the reasons, of course, that in many personal development processes, workshops, retreats, etc., feedback is one of the core methods of increasing our knowledge about how we're seen. But I just want to touch briefly also on a body of thinking and practice that I'm sure many people have come across, called integral theory and practice. And Ken Wilber would be regarded as one of the leading lights of that. And he talked about inner development as waking up, growing up, cleaning up, and showing up. I think he's also added in more recent years the notion of opening up our mind, opening up our heart. I think there's another element which is skilling up. I think there are certain skills, and perhaps some of you will be aware of the Inner Development Goals initiative coming out of Scandinavia, which has been around now for about 10 years and has been trying to identify what are the skills as human beings we need to have for the future, not least in order to save and sustain the planet. What are the skills, how do we need to be as human beings? So I think the waking up, the skilling up, the working on ourselves, and that's the thing that many people still need to do, and that's possibly the main point I was making in my first piece.
Yeah, and building on that, Peter, I think when you know, as you know, I do a lot of development of coaches who are looking to work with groups and teams, because many coaches have learned to work one-on-one with clients.
Yes.
Of course, many of the challenges that clients bring to the one-on-one coaching are the relationship with others, how they get on with their boss, how they relate with their peers or their direct reports or others in the system. At one time, I thought maybe 80% of what clients brought to one-to-one coaching sessions I was running was other people.
Yes.
And this is where we sorely need to skill up and be more available to getting into dialogue with each other and having a different way of relating. But it's difficult to do that. It's difficult to be in relationship and to stay open to others if we're continually triggered by our past.
Yes.
So these things are not in isolation, are they? They're all connected.
They're all connected.
growing up, the cleaning up, the opening up, waking up.
Yeah.
And the other part I want to highlight is the centrality of awareness to our work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going next, isn't it? In terms of a little bit of a demonstration session.
Yes.
That we want to offer, where Georgina and I are going to just spend a few minutes just speaking to each other and sharing in the moment what we are aware of right now. And also to focus on another element, which is about the quality of our connection, contact with each other as we're doing this. We'd like you to watch this, observe. You might want to make some notes, because later on we're going to ask you to also have a go at this very same exercise in pairs. So you'll be doing what we're going to demonstrate now. The focus is on two main things: awareness in the moment and the quality of connection and contact between us. And we'll start right now, shall we?
Yeah. Let's begin.
Do you want to begin by what
Yeah.
what are you aware of right now, Georgina?
Yeah. Just take a moment to settle.
Yeah.
Notice my shoulders are tight. I'm
Mhm.
hunched forward a bit. I think it's the being on screen, feel a greater distance, but it's creating some tension in me, and I want to just sort of open up and be more available. That's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I notice I'm aware of people watching, but it's very background. My focus is mainly on you. And as I take that in, I notice a real heart sense of warmth, emotion, gratitude for what you've brought into my life these last 2 years. We've been getting to know each other, working together. How much you've brought into my life, how much I've learned from you, the confidence you have in me, the openness to partnership, to being side by side, and to the authenticity in our relationship. We have a great capacity to share both the highs and lows in our work. And when we're affected by the client, the teams we're working with, clients, the system, sometimes when it seems like it's got too much, it's overwhelming. And because of our way of having a dialogue around what's here for us, we find our way through to something aligned and fresh, and something I can show up to wholeheartedly. And that's rare. It's really rare. I don't know if you know how rare that is, to partner with someone who's so open.
Can I come in there?
Yeah.
Because you've said a lot of lovely things, and you've just closed there with a question. Do I know? And the
Yeah.
answer is I don't. I don't actually. No. I guess I see it as just normal. Well, what am I saying? I, let me say a few things to you first.
Mm.
feel moved as I think about this. I feel very fortunate. Gratitude to have met you, to be working together, to be getting to know each other. I feel enormous support from you and generosity. You don't get triggered very often, in my experience, and that's such a relief, actually, because in everyday life, everyday life, I experience people being triggered and me being triggered. It's just part of living for me. And yet, with you, I rarely feel triggered, and I rarely experience you being triggered by me. And that just feels like a gift, actually. I've said this before, but I also find the way we work together, the way we communicate, so often when we begin to try to think about something complex, that I know I would not make very much progress on my own. When we're in dialogue about those issues, something happens where you plus me equals a third element more than the sum of the parts. And I think it happens every time. And each time it happens, I still feel it's fresh and amazing. Because I guess I, like many people, try to solve everything in my own life myself. And I might get somewhere with some of that stuff. But many things I go round and round the same thing. And it's only through expressing it to another, but not just another, the way that you hear, understand, always brings something that's different to what I would have brought myself. And I absolutely love that and value it so highly. So I think I feel as if I'm really lucky that I've come across you and that we have this connection.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it now. Earlier I was still aware of everybody else, and there's a pull for, I'm sure both of us, we want to talk to these folks, get to know them, because that's what we do. But like that now, that's not what we're doing. We're talking to each other, and
yeah.
Can
I come in?
And you're a very beautiful woman. Yeah.
I feel touched by that, Peter, and I'm aware of your. I'm so aware of your retirement at the end of this year. I hope it's okay me saying that with an audience. And I'm aware I'm holding that and dreading that to some degree. It's too soon. And yet, of course, I want you to retire and do what you want with your life. But I don't want to let go. And I know it's early in the year still, but I suspect as the year goes on, you may see me more triggered. I need to do more work on myself as I encounter that fear or dread of losing you from my life. The amount of contact we have, I'm sure we will stay connected in contact, but the rhythm of the contacts becomes so important to me.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, I'll need your support around that in making sure that we have some space to talk about that, to work out what that means. Also, have my permission to challenge me if you feel me holding on to you too tightly, trying to keep you where you are. Yeah. How's that for you?
Well, I know that this word retirement has been used, and I've probably used it too. The way I see it is that I'm stepping back from corporate work and I guess retiring from that.
Yeah.
But my passion, my mission is to get this work out there to more people in the community, and particularly in the environmental and ecological movements.
Yeah.
I think it's badly needed. I think it'd make a huge difference if people who are hugely committed to the planet and to life also had managed to find places to be able to work on themselves. Perhaps also, in some cases, grow their relational skills that you were talking about earlier, because that's going to help more effective action come out. So I don't ever see myself stop doing this work ever, until I have to. But I do choose to step back from the corporate because my priorities have shifted now. I feel I want to contribute more in the community space. Yeah. I'm hoping
a sense of
you'll
hope.
be there too. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be there too. Yeah.
Peter, I knew that you were passionate about societal change, community change. But for some reason, I'd not heard that in the same way. I just hung on to this word retirement, and the relief I feel at shifting that to one side.
Should we stop using the word retirement?
Let's do that.
We have a deal.
Yeah.
No more retirement
No
talk.
more. Yeah. Yeah.
I know we're coming towards the close of this, but one of the greatest Gestalt therapists and writers, thought leaders, practice leaders, Irving Polster, he died at 101. He was still practicing as a therapist in his late 90s and wrote a book when he was 100. And one of the things he said, which I love, is this work is far too precious simply for the therapy space, the consulting spaces, etc. It needs to be out and available to the many in the world, and that's where I'm at.
Carrying that torch forward.
Carry the flag a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we okay to close there? Should we hand back to Carol?
Yeah. So Carol, maybe there's some questions before we invite colleagues to get into pairs, just to check where people are at with what they've encountered today.
Yeah.
Maybe sharing what you've thought and felt as you've witnessed us just in the here and now, sharing our awareness and contact.
I can feel my heart racing right now. And for many, many moments, I felt really touched and moved when, and
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like a wave of emotions.
Yeah.
So we come and go, and I'm feeling right now. Mm. Yeah. So, and it is the word that comes to my mind is like witness. It's like so precious to be a witness of this type of conversation. And I feel honored to be working with both of you. Really honored. Yeah.
And I'd like to say something to you, Carol, as well, and that's how lucky I feel to have met you at the workshop last year and for us to be continuing in the way we are now. I
Yeah.
think you're one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I feel grateful to know you.
Thank you so much. It means the world to hear this from you and from Georgina as well. Yeah. Let's take a moment.
Okay.
Let's take a moment to just sink it in all of this experience. And I always feel mesmerized by the power of being in contact with each other when we allowed ourselves to just be in presence and in contact with each other, and how amazing it is to observe when something emerges and it is like an agreement and a possibility, a new understanding, or just simply and a learning process of how to be there with each other. Be comfortable because in the end we are going to work together, but just be there feeling safe and comfortable in the presence of each other. Mm. What a powerful demonstration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what's coming up for colleagues who are sitting here with us? Perhaps you'd like to share, maybe in the chat with Carol. How are you feeling? What are you noticing?
So please write in the chat, what are you noticing on yourself right now? And if you have a question, please ask the question. You can write in Portuguese, that's okay. I'll translate to Peter and Georgina. Do you have any questions about the demonstration, about the impact it has on you when you quiet down, when you take the time to get in contact with this space right now? So if you have anything you'd like us to know, and if you have a question, please write in the chat, even if it's in Portuguese. And if it's in English, I'll translate into Portuguese so everyone can hear. Or Fabi, can you help us translating into Portuguese the questions in the chat? Maybe I can ask a question while people are taking the courage. I can see some of them here. I can see Lizzie. Lizzie, you are here, my screen. Diogo, you are also here in screen. Alexandre, you are here as well. I'm naming who I'm seeing. So if you feel like, please let us know. Luciana, Angela, Vanderlei. Maybe can we explore the importance of being in contact with each other? We usually say, "Oh, we have something popping up here." Let's see. Let's see. So Luciana is saying that she felt touched, a warmth, a wave of love. My eyes were teary. The quality of the connection of, sorry, the quality of the connection was beautiful. The way you really saw each other. Marcia is saying that she was moved in emotion with the conversation between us three. She sensed lot of truth, and this experience touched her heart. Very happy to be here, very happy with the opportunity. So the wave of emotions is here again.
Yeah.
Tita is a very dear friend. Thank you for being here. She said she's really emotional and more motivated to be open, to build partnership as powerful as this one with people who is around her. Isabella is saying that she noticed feelings of inner peace and felt lucky to be here today. Uh, Thank you for the demonstration and for the truth and connection. Ilana is also saying, is a dear colleague from São Paulo, she's saying, thank you for the demonstration. Beautiful to follow the exchange, the deep exchange of presence. She has a question. She would like to know how it is to exercise this technique with people who we don't know, and when we don't have a history together, how this emerge, how this theme emerge, how this topic emerge. Uh, Luciana is saying the same thing. How can we hold this quality of connection with strangers?
Mm.
Power of authenticity. Andrea, also a dear colleague from São Paulo, is saying that, to be honest, I feel jealous. I thought that it's very hard to have the connection so deep and truth in the professional life. I felt touched. A minute after, I sensed a great deal of motivation to work, for me to work until this point, and to work until I find this reality. I believe this is the beginning. Bianca, very nice to have you with us. Watching both, so it's in English. Vera, Georgina, and Peter. Watching both Georgina and Peter is so to be so vulnerable in public touched me, made me admire both even more. This is a clear demonstration of inner development can be used in the service of real leadership. Very exciting. Diana Schneider is saying, thank you for the opportunity. Terezinha is saying, I feel very nurtured. Is like remembering our deep humanity. Thank you. I have seen, Bianca is also saying that I've seen this before in public, and this time I felt even more personal despite the unknown audience. And Angela, thank you for being here. She's also saying she's feeling lucky to have had the invitation to be here with us today. Thank you very much. Great admiration, inspired and happy. So, how does this sound to you? How are you feeling now? Oh, Francesca is also come. Francesca is Peter, you would love to talk more with Francesca. She is working with climate change and she has a lovely work regarding that topic. I believe the way we are sets the tone, and even with people we don't know, they will reciprocate what they receive from us in terms of authenticity and depth.
Yeah.
Ah, so
Very,
how
very
are
touched.
you now? Yeah.
Very moved.
Very
I want
moving.
I want to meet these people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I want to
Yeah.
meet you.
Oh,
Yeah. Come to the retreat.
yeah. Come spend time with us. Yeah.
Just on that question of how do we try to enable this more in our lives, I think a lot of it is about the quality of attention that we're able to give to the other person or other people. I think if people experience a very deep quality of attention, it opens something up, really. It 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 breaks through the invisible walls. And we talk a lot about the importance of listening well, which is very important, of course. But I think before listening, it's the quality of attention that we're able to provide everywhere in our life. Whether it's going to the restaurant, perhaps you have a regular restaurant that you go to, and you know the people who serve the food. The meeting them, as I'm sure you do anyway, from the heart, with interest, attention for them, desire to connect. When people are on the receiving end of that, it's such a basic human need that it generally breaks through. Of course, not always. It's not magical. But I think the more we commit to giving the highest quality of attention to everything in the world, obviously other human beings, but those of you who are also committed to the nature agenda, to attention to everything in nature, the birds, the forests, everything, no limits. And when we do that, we become more spacious, bigger.
Mm.
It's like we build a muscle every time we use it.
Mm.
And people see it and they respond to it.
That sounds like an invitation for colleagues here to get into
Definitely.
prayers and practice being in contact. And I know, Andrea, you posted that great question about how do you do this with people you don't know? Well, I hope that if luck has it, in the pairings, you'll end up with someone you don't know.
Mm.
So it is a practice of contact, of being energetically available for each other and seeing what you notice, seeing what's there. So, Carol, are you able to put people into some breakout rooms?
Yeah. I don't know why Zoom is only allowing me to create 10 breakout rooms, Georgina and Peter.
Okay,
That
well,
means that
there
people
might
will
be
be
3
trios or
people.
fours.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It is what it is. Let's try contact between whoever's in the breakout room with you.
How many people
Experience
are on the
contact,
call? Do we know?
We have 31 people in the call.
Okay.
Yeah.
including us. So it'd be
Including.
Please.
threes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just move someone over here.
So
So,
whilst
Georgina,
Carol's organizing that,
yeah.
the invitation is for you to get in and be in contact, be present for each other. Notice, become aware of any barriers to that contact in yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you notice some emotions or something coming up for you in the way. See how that is. Check in with that energy. Become aware of that. Become aware of each other.
You can begin with the sentence, what I'm aware of now is. What I'm aware of now is. And just keep using that. Just keep, you'll go a long way on that
In that
thing.
simple. Yeah.
10 minutes,
Let's do
Georgina? Yeah.
15. I think
15.
as it's threes, let's do 15.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Opening the rooms. Georgina and Peter, please don't move yourself. Yeah. Don't go there. Mm. Yeah. So they probably have more, a little bit more. Oh, they're coming back. Hello! I know. É o túnel do Zoom. It's the
É,
Zoom tunnel. I know, I'm
saí da
sorry.
sala sem querer.
Tava
Cliquei,
acabando mesmo, Lizzie.
cliquei na mensagenzinha de mais um minuto e saí.
Well,
Ai, que pena.
ah, okay. Eu imagino que tenha sido uma ótima conversa. I imagine it was a great conversation. Yeah. So we are gonna wait for everyone to come back. Let's hope they will come back, right? Vamos esperar a turma chegar de volta. Na torcida que todo mundo volte. Ai, deixa eu ver. Let's wait for a minute. Yeah. Okay. So, todo mundo vai voltando. Lembrem-se de que vocês podem ter tradução e tem o globinho ali da português. So, everybody coming back to the room. Remember, we have the translation. You need to press Portuguese. We are going to do a debriefing, a short debriefing. Nós vamos fazer um pequeno processamento. E eu queria convidar vozes. Would like to invite different voices to the room instead of going to the chat. We would love to hear from you, even if it's in Portuguese. Peter and Georgina can access the translation back to English. And I really encourage you to take this moment to speak and to bring your voice into the room. So my invitation is for you to open your minds and share briefly how was the conversation. Então, abram seus microfones e quem quiser compartilhar brevemente como foi a experiência, por favor. A gente vai adorar ouvir vocês. E eu preciso dizer que a primeira pessoa que está aqui na minha listinha é a Andrea. E tu tá com o microfone aberto. Agora tu saiu. So, who wants to who wants to share? How was the experience? You don't need to share what did you speak about, what did you spoke about. Spoke. But your voices are welcome. A tua voz é bem-vinda. Luciana.
It was amazing because I was a little bit anxious about the opportunity to do the same kind of activity with people I didn't know before. And we the three of us just tried to connect with what we were observing, following Peter's clue on what I'm aware of now. And it was amazing how fast we were able to establish a different kind of connection. It felt real, it felt warm, it felt human very, very quickly. So it was a very pleasant experience.
Great. Lovely to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to remove you from the spotlight. Luciana, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna bring Rafael. Hi, Rafael.
Hi.
Em português,
Em
English or
português, mais
Spanish? Em
fácil.
português, tá bom, português. So just one second, Rafael. Peter and Georgina, Rafael is going to speak in Portuguese. So if you want to press the button, yeah, okay.
Bom, primeiro foi muito bacana a conexão, eu e a Inês, a gente formou o par, né? E uma das coisas que a gente conversou é que nós estamos muito conectados nesse tom, nessa vibração de conversa, de debate, mas ao mesmo tempo nas empresas e aonde nós temos atuado, nós percebemos uma pouca disposição para esse tipo de tom, para esse tipo de conversa, para esse tipo de exploração interior. Então, isso é um incômodo, mas ao mesmo tempo nós seguimos acreditando que o caminho é por aqui, né? Só não sabemos muito, assim, a dúvida é como conseguir acertar um pouco mais a mão para sensibilizar mais as pessoas em prol disso.
I think Carol has froze.
Carol
Yeah, I think Carol has left us.
Carol may have frozen.
And I wonder if Peter or
Yeah.
Georgina could answer the question. Did you hear the question
Diogo,
that was made
are you
just
there?
now?
Heard the question. Yeah.
Diogo, can you step in for Carol?
Absolutely. But yeah, sure, I'm happy to. Yeah, but maybe if you heard the Rafael's question, maybe, I don't know if you have any thoughts on how to help, support. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to go, Georgina?
After you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
can.
say you will, or shall I?
you go.
Okay. Yeah. I think I don't know your culture well enough to know what the level of challenge is to be able to get this kind of connection, contact, openness to be more vulnerable in relationships, more real, more authentic. But I think the only place I ever felt that you could start is with yourself. And so many years ago, I really didn't know whether it would be possible to make progress with this inner development approach within corporate organizations, especially at the senior level. I guess I just made a decision that I was going to do it, and I was going to push the boundaries. I was going to role model it in the work, to create programs, to create leadership programs, to offer coaching. Sometimes the privacy of a one-to-one coaching relationship is an easier place to start for people because it's not visible with colleagues. And of course, there can be a fear of showing vulnerability if we're doing it with other colleagues in a leadership program or a team workshop. So perhaps the easier step is the confidential one-to-one coaching relationship. A lot of it is about whether we give what we give ourselves. I think we've got to make the first step. We can't ask the other. We've got to show the way, really, and accept that it will feel risky at times, may not always work. My experience is that as human beings, when people get the conditions safe enough to be able to open up and be real, they do it. So our challenge is to create the conditions of safety, of psychological safety, where people might just take those steps. But do you remember the Ford Motor Company was invented by somebody called Henry Ford. One of Henry Ford's quotations was this: whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right. I've taken that as a life philosophy. I believe we can. And I think when we can, when we believe that and we do it, something happens. Partly this is about courage. But I'd love to talk more about it. And maybe one day we'll be in the same room together and go into it in a much more depth. I hope so.
Yeah, me too. Carol, I think we have you back. Is that right?
Yeah, sorry. Raphael's question was so powerful that I fell. I fell from the. Ah.
Yeah.
Georgina, would you like to add something?
I think given we've got a few minutes left, it would be wonderful, Carol, if you could tell people a little bit about the
Yeah.
retreat and what experience, maybe some
Yeah.
practicalities.
Yeah. Rafa, thank you for your question. I'm going to remove you from the spotlight here. Yeah, I just, yeah, one of the things that I recall now, Peter told me last year, Carol, be bold. I'm not sure if you remember that, Peter, but he said to me, be bold. And we are talking about Raphael's question and how to bring this inner space, emotional space, spiritual space. And I think I embrace that in many opportunities I had so far. And one of the things I think being brave and bold, it is the retreat in São Paulo, because bringing both of you to São Paulo, it is like a huge movement and a huge message that this work is important, so important that we are bringing both of you to São Paulo in August. And I have the honor and the responsibility to bring you here. And it's going to be 4 days in São Paulo. We are going to talk about the word it doesn't translate really well into Portuguese, so I'm going to say how we say in Portuguese is transformational development, and it's based on inner development. It's creating space for people to really be in contact with themselves, so they can make a difference in the world they are part. So taking the time to slow down, taking the time to really get in contact and create this kind of experiences. We just and many more, like getting just stay here in the present. Just is and I say just being here in the it's not just, it's like a huge effort. It is a choice to be in the present. So it is important for us to take the time. Diogo sent me a message here asking me if I want to speak in Portuguese. So, not sure. Can I speak in Portuguese and you translate and you hear the translation? Yeah? Okay. Então, o Peter me trouxe o desafio de ser corajosa. E, e eu acho que o retiro é um símbolo disso. Trazer o Peter e a Georgina para o Brasil é uma mensagem de que o desenvolvimento que transforma é a pauta. Não é uma coisa. Não existe outra coisa para fazer a não ser a gente trabalhar em nós mesmos. E o retiro serão 4 dias na Casa Casulo, que é um lugar lindíssimo em São Paulo, é o lugar mais parecido com natureza no meio de São Paulo que a gente talvez e perto e próximo, né? Que a gente conseguiu uma casa que tem uma energia maravilhosa para nos receber. E se vocês chegassem lá na casa onde vai ser, tem uma borboleta imensa na sala. Porque a borboleta, ela significa essa transformação que a gente está se convidando a fazer. Então não é sobre o outro, é sobre a gente, é sobre cada um de nós. Que a gente possa usar esses 4 dias e cada um na medida que é possível, né? Cada um do jeito que puder, poder olhar e criar espaço para si mesmo. A Bianca está colocando aqui, ela teve nos 2 retiros, a gente teve juntas, nos retiros da TCAs na Inglaterra. E eu posso dar a minha experiência pessoal, assim como a Bianca está trazendo a dela aqui para o nosso chat, e dizer para vocês que é realmente um encontro, é um encontro contigo, é um espaço de transformação para si mesmo. E as minhas experiências foram realmente transformadoras. Então, a Bianca também está se colocando aqui à disposição. Deixa eu ver se eu acho ela aqui para botar ela no spotlight. Cadê você, Bianca? Não sei onde é que tu tá. Aqui. Deixa eu te colocar aqui, te trazer para conversa. Então, te trazendo para a conversa, Bianca, se tu puder falar em
Ok.
português, se tu puder falar em português,
Não tem muito o que, assim, é um trabalho realmente sobre, acho que o Peter trouxe isso, né? A qualidade da intervenção, ela depende da qualidade da presença. E a presença só acontece quando a gente olha para dentro, entra para dentro, para fora depois acontece. Então, é meio e é fim, e é muito poderoso. Eu já fiz os 2 retreats, eu tive no diploma com a Georgina, que acabou um mês e meio atrás. E quando a gente olha para a jornada, né, como coach, é uma jornada que muitas escolas trabalham muito esse desenvolvimento horizontal das ferramentas e dos frameworks. E eu percebo que de tudo que eu fiz, esse trabalho com a Georgina, que começou 2 anos e pouco atrás, foi o que mais me apoiou e tem me permitido sustentar o que eu tenho vivenciado tanto no meu trabalho quanto na minha vida pessoal. Então, é tão poderoso que eu sigo acreditando. Vou na terceira vez, pela terceira vez, e provavelmente eu vou em todos que eu tiver a oportunidade de ir, porque não tem fim. E eles têm uma capacidade incrível de nos acessar e de permitir com que a gente acesse a nós mesmos, que eu acho que é bem difícil, e eu sou bem resistente. E eles são mágicos.
são mágicos em criar um espaço
São,
para que a gente faça a nossa própria mágica. Eu acho
exato.
que
É lindo.
a mágica está no ambiente em que e eu realmente torço para que as pessoas possam estar na presença dos dois, porque é
É,
como eles são muito grandes.
muito.
Não só altos, mas como muito grandes. Então, tem uma magia na construção de um ambiente para que a gente possa fazer a nossa própria mágica. E eu acho que é esse o convite que eu quero deixar aqui, né, nessa enorme responsabilidade de trazer os dois para o Brasil. É que quem se sentir chamado possa entrar em contato. Então, se vocês quiserem falar mais com a Bianca veio nos 2 últimos, tem um contato com a TCS, e se quiserem ouvir a experiência dela, né, já se colocou à disposição. E quem quiser saber mais sobre, enfim, questões da experiência, como será, eu fico à disposição. Quem quiser se inscrever pode entrar em contato direto comigo. Bianca, eu vou te tirar aqui do Spotlight. Invite Peter and Georgina back de volta para o inglês. Invite Peter and Georgina to maybe give your last words. How would you like to end this conversation today?
You?
I'm very touched that you've shown up with so much interest and open to ideas which are sometimes a bit alien when we're talking about corporate life and leadership. And I hope I get to meet many of you in August in Sao Paulo, and to further the conversation, and to get to know more about you. You've generously listened to us. I want to know more about you and who you are. And Peter.
I wish it was tomorrow we were doing it.
Yeah.
I feel very excited and very, very positive, and really looking forward to coming to you, to meeting as many of you as can come, and for us to have a memorable experience together, to share something that will last in our memories all our lives. And these things do.
Yes.
So it's been lovely to be with you. Thank you.
Carol, thank you for organizing this.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this amazing conversation. I think it is all of us that creates this amazing field. And hope to see everyone in person in August. And let's keep in contact. If anyone wants to keep having this conversation, I'm here for you, and wishing you a great weekend.